Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm on the Seogwipo side of Jeju Island and I'm hiking one of the Olle trails here. Olle Trail means narrow pathway in the native tongue here on Jeju Island in Korean. And the island has many of these Olle trails that go along the coast where you can look at the beautiful rock formations, you can see the water. Some of them actually go up the mountain, so you can hike a little bit up the mountain. So today I thought I would just go hiking along one of the trails and talk to you guys about what it's like living here on Jeju Island. I just came out of a clearing and check out this amazing view. You can see there's an island way out there. You can see there's a little town on that side. And over on this side, check out those cliffs. Beautiful. The water hole is right down there. There's another island over there. It is just so majestic out here. Out of curiosity, I'm hiking to the edge of this cliff. Don't worry guys, I'm not gonna jump. Well, actually it could be kind of fun, but look how high up this is. Woo! Look at the water right down there. It is beautiful. I kind of almost want to jump in. If it was allowed and I was with friends, maybe. I decided why not go ahead and take a seat here with this beautiful background and talk to you guys a little about what it's like living on Jeju Island. Before I go into any of the categories, I'm going to quickly go through some cons and some pros about living on Jeju Island. The first pro, which is pretty obvious I think at this point, is that you can do things like this. Go to these beautiful cliffs, go to beautiful beaches, go into the swimming holes like the one down below, anytime that you want. People pay lots of money and travel hours on planes just to come here and do things like this in a matter of a couple of days. When you live here, you have the entire year or longer, if you're gonna stay here for a longer period of time, to do this whenever you want. I love doing these kind of things on Sundays and really relaxes me and gets me ready for the work week. So that is the really big pro about living on Jeju Island. One of the cons though is that you're living on an island, which means that you're not gonna have a lot of the big activities that are going on in big cities like Seoul or Busan. There is a club scene here. It's not nearly as big as in Seoul, like TAIWAN or other districts in Seoul. There are little concerts, but nothing like the big city. So that is a bit of a con when you live on the island. But if you like having more of a tight-knit community of foreigners and Koreans, Jeju Island is your place to go. So the first category let's talk about is what it's like being a foreigner here on Jeju Island. A lot of people have messaged me saying that they're not sure if they should move to Jeju Island, if there's a large enough foreigner community here, or if foreigners are accepted here on Jeju Island. Well, I can definitely let you guys know that foreigners here on Jeju Island are definitely welcomed and definitely accepted. And there is a great foreigner community here on Jeju Island. It's a very tight-knit community. Everybody kind of knows each other. There's a lot of community activities that are put together, like the annual volleyball tournament that I showed you guys a little of that I participated in this year. That's twice a year. There was recently an expat festival yesterday. They have quiz nights at the local bars. They have game nights. There's a lot of things going on in the foreigner community here. So when you come to Jeju Island, if you're just coming here to travel or you're coming here to teach, you're gonna find a lot of foreigners and you'll be able to find a great group to connect with. There's also several Facebook groups like Jeju Island Social where you can discuss any questions you may have about the island. There's also Jeju Island Marketplace where you can sell furniture. There's another page that's totally separate just for stuff relating to schools and contracts if you have questions regarding things like that. So definitely don't worry about coming to Jeju Island and being isolated. Next, let's talk about Jeju Island's weather. Okay, Jeju Island is known as Korea's Hawaii. And let me tell you guys, I lived in Honolulu, Hawaii for 5 years. I went to the University of Hawaii, so I know what Hawaii is and feels like. Now during the summer months here on Jeju Island, it definitely feels like Hawaii. Right now we're in the middle of the monsoon season. Monsoon season goes through July and the beginning of August. That's where it'll rain a lot, and then it'll be sunny, and then it'll rain a lot. This happens a lot in Hawaii as well. However, Jeju Island gets very, very, very cold in the winter. 2 years ago, in the winter of 2015, it snowed so much in Jeju City and throughout the island, they closed the Jeju International Airport for 3 days. It was just covered in snow. When I went to school, there was literally like 2 feet of snow. I told friends on the mainland how much snow was on the island, and they didn't even believe me. They're like, what? Jeju Island is like the tropical island, and it is. But in the wintertime, it gets very cold here and it still snows. Another thing that makes it so cold is that a lot of the wind blows off the ocean and up onto the island. So you get this really cold wind chill, and it makes it feel colder than it is. The fall time here on Jeju Island is absolutely beautiful. It's not too hot, not too cold, not humid, just right. You get to see all the beautiful leaves change on Hallasan and throughout the island. Springtime is also gorgeous, just like throughout the rest of Korea, with a lot of the cherry blossoms and a lot of other different flowers blooming. So the weather here on Jeju Island, it definitely gives you 4 solid seasons, and the summer seasons definitely feel like Hawaii. After living in Hawaii for 5 years, I cannot leave this out, and that is tourism here on Jeju Island. Jeju Island's tourism has exploded. I've lived on Jeju Island for 2 years. My first year in Korea, I came and visited Jeju Island, and just within a year, I saw the difference. People who have lived on Jeju Island for the last 10 years, even 3 or 5 years, have seen such an explosion in buildings and tour companies and tourists themselves. And this is a good thing and a bad thing. It is a good thing because it brings a lot of money to the island. The problem that's happening is that you get a lot of tourists from China or other countries, and what they're doing is they're coming and they're buying property here on Jeju Island, which is in general raising the prices for all the local people here, which can make life a lot more difficult for the local people that live here. This is something that's a bit of a touchy subject here on Jeju Island, and is something that's still getting worked out. There's talks about them building a second airport out by Songsan, which me and a lot of foreigners and Koreans think that's a bad idea, that it could really damage the environment, and it's just going to bring more people here and could really damage the island more. I hope that they can find a balance for Jeju, but that is something that is becoming more of an issue here. Now, when it comes to your day-to-day life, when you go to Latte Mart or E-Mart, there's going to be a lot of tourists there. This is something that I got used to a lot in Hawaii. Whenever you're in Waikiki or you're in Honolulu where I lived, there's going to be a lot of tourists around, and it's just, you're going to have to learn to have a lot more patience. Sometimes tourists will get confused with money or with the language, and if you're in a line to check out at the grocery store, it may take a bit longer, or there may be a bit more traffic. This comes with living in a tropical paradise. When you live here, just expect that there will be a lot of tourists around, especially during the summer season, and just to have more patience and understand that it may take people a bit longer to pull out their money or exchange, or they're a little confused on the road. And once you start to learn this and the ways of the tourists, you can learn how to avoid it and get to your destination or get out of the grocery line a lot quicker. Now let's talk a little about Jeju Island's culture. Jeju Island is so unique and different. It's part of Korea, but the island has always been its own thing. It's always had its own identity, even though it's part of Korea as a whole. Jeju Island, they have their own dialect of Korean. So words like odom or Olle, some of these other words you don't normally hear whenever you're living on the mainland. They're unique to Jeju and they come from Jeju. People like the Haenyeo, which are the women divers, they are so tough, and they have quite a long history here on Jeju Island. I've lived in Korea for 3 years. 2 years of that has been on Jeju Island. And from my experience, Jeju, compared to the rest of Korea, is very conservative. This can be a really great thing because they really hold on to their culture. Korean people may come off a bit cold or a little resistant at first. And after you first meet them and maybe you speak a few Korean words to them, even something simple like 안녕하세요 or 감사합니다, or even if you go into a GS25 to ask where the bathroom is, if you make that effort to just be like, you know, 화장실 어디 있어요, just those little words will make such a big difference with the people here, and they will just open up to you and treat you like family. And that's one thing I really love about living here on the island, that it really feels like a family here on the island. Even if your friends are Korean, or even if they're foreigner, everyone's connected and is a community here. It's also had some really bad times during war here, and you'll see along the cliffs there's a lot of caves built out during the Pacific War and the Japanese coming over here. So this island and these people have been through a lot, but they're very resilient along with the rest of the country. So if you're gonna come and teach here on Jeju Island, or you're gonna visit, take some time to learn about the history here on Jeju Island, and it will give you such a better perspective of things when you're here and you're experiencing things in real life. Oh, I literally have been sitting here for the last half an hour making this video. I hope this video was helpful to you guys and gave you a better idea and perspective of Jeju Island. If you guys have any more questions or any questions about Jeju Island and what it's like living here, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer them as I jump over all these rocks on the cliff here. Thanks again for watching, guys, and remember to live every moment to the max. I'll see you guys next time.